Hi, hello, and welcome back to another hour of Hardcore Minecraft. Today's splash message is dur 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 dur. Dur dur dur. No, it's just dur dur dur, not dur 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 dur. Anyways, we're gonna get right into it. Yesterday we ended off right here. I didn't talk yesterday, but we got our zombie farm, or our zombies put into our... My brain ain't working. We got the zombies put into our iron farm. And outside of that, I just did a little bit of the terraforming here, and then kind of blocked out some of the castle stuff that I wanted. I'm kind of coming up with a plan for it. I've got a little bit of an idea. So this design is very, 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 very reminiscent of a base I used to build when I used to play on creative servers, way back in the day. I would, the servers where you'd get a plot, like the OG servers where you'd get a plot and build stuff. I used to build that same 5-2-1-2-5 circle design. And the original design was this, and then 5 blocks back, and then it would be 5 blocks over, another circle like that back, and then it would be like 13 blocks deep and then around. And it was just this, it was basically bump, straight line, bump again, and then a big square. And it was just basically, rather than having this big dip here in the middle, it was just basically straight across and a lot smaller. It was like bump, straight line, bump, back, square. This is very, very reminiscent of my OG base that I used to build, and I'm kind of liking it, actually. Which I'm thinking I want to build. If I ever get my iron farm building up, like making enough, I'm gonna build that, what I used to call the lab, because it was creative, so it didn't matter what I built it out of. So I built it out of iron blocks, and I think it would be really, really cool to build it in survival. I used to build it out of iron blocks, and then I would have blue glass, because that was like right when they added stained glass, and I thought it was the coolest freaking thing. So, Anyways, that's enough jibbering around my old base design and why I like this so much. I kind of want to do a little bit more laying out of some plans here. So, an idea I have. I shouldn't have left the area where I was at. I should have stayed right up here. So, I've got this idea in my head about, like, maybe I build a low wall right here and literally just keep this as like a very, very, very private internal area. So like this castle will be taller. There will be a roof that runs along this, and then a taller roof that runs here in the center along this. And then this tower will be the lower tower that only runs to the same height as this roof. It's all going to be tiered. And the only other thing that I can think of is that I would kind of like another connection between these two. It doesn't have to be a big wall. It doesn't. I do not want it to be too tall. But I want it to like give. I want it to kind of square off the castle, to where everything kind of feels like it has, like it feels less like a U and more like a big square with a big opening in the middle of it. Kind of like old castles used to be. If I had the ability to pull up an image right now, I would show you what I'm talking about. But basically, like, this is the main building. There's a little bit of a courtyard, and then there's an outer wall here that leads to the rest of this. And we've got our main entrance right here, which I thought about yesterday. I was like, genius. I had a lot of thinking that I did yesterday while I was not feeling that good. But I had strokes of genius and inspiration. And a rather large door right here would go unbelievably hard. I think that would be awesome, so we're going to do it. Outside of that, I think we're just going to do some like more blocking of the castle today. I want to get a better idea of what I'm building for it. So I might even like build out heights and stuff, maybe block out a... Basically, we're going to actually properly get started on the castle today. I don't want to do any terraforming. I want to do some proper like building. So we're going to be flying back and forth between here and there a lot, but I'm hoping that it'll come out pretty good. So first things first, we're going to sleep so that it's not nighttime anymore. I also need to move this nether portal, so we've got to do some linking of nether portals, but not today. Today is simply a you deserve what you have right now. You deserve everything. You deserve to live in this 4 walls, no toys. You killed all of my sheep. I spared you. One of these days I'll be nice to that dog. But right now is not that day. It kind of upset me. Anyways, back to this. But because I already kind of have... So this is... Floor height is this. This is where the floor is going to be. Because I already have a walkway here. I want the hallways and doors to be here. Like this is the main walkway through the castle. Easy peasy. And then I almost want to do like a big, grand... You walk into the castle and you have these 2 big staircases that lead up to it. So I need that beacon, like, badly. But we'll worry about that later because we have the big grand entrance like I was thinking. I don't know what I'm going to do above it, but I know that this is going to be like a big grand room. And it'll have to end here. Like, this will have to be a wall. So wherever that door is, it's a little close for my liking. We might have to rearrange this room a little bit. But pretty much this room opens up with the door, which I might move over actually, and center it with this. We'll see. We'll see. We're doing blocking today, so nothing crazy. Block out a room here since I'm thinking about it. Okay. But the general idea is that I build a wall. What I do, mine 3 wide right here. I build a wall between the 2. And this is pretty much max height. This is where it would be. Hold on. I want to do on floor level this one, so it's the same height. This should be 73, right? Yeah. So there's going to be a door, and then which I'm kind of wishing that I had stuck with the 2x3 door thing, so I would have to make the bridges. So the original thing that I had set for myself when I was building the original base down in here was that doorways were all throughout the building were going to be 2x3. So 3 blocks tall, 2 blocks wide. And I'm kind of wishing I had stuck with that to the point where I could just, these doors. It might just have to be like a compromise of some of the doorways are a little bit wider, because I actually like the idea that the main walkway over there, this main walkway right here, I like the way that it's 3 blocks wide, because then it's stone brick with this in the middle, and I can almost do carpet on both sides if I really wanted to. But the main walkway through the castle, this is the main breezeway, and there'll be windows along this to let light in and all that. And this wall will be the same as those walls. This and that will be the same. So it'll end up being the same level as that wall and that wall, just right here. And then this circle here, we need to decide how tall this area is going to be. How many floors do I want here? I almost just want 3 floors here, but that's a lot of floors. But if I did 2 like 5 block tall floors, so if the floor is here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The floor block, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The roof block. So that's 11 blocks in the air, 12 blocks in the air. How does that look? I don't hate it. Because this will all be... It's almost going to be a tier design with the tallest tower being on this side. It'll step down to this roof, and then step down to this roof, and then step down to this roof, probably? And this will be a tower proper, and then this will just kind of be a rounded off end to the building with windows and stuff all dotted around the inside. So this whole length right here is going to be that many blocks tall, which was floor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, floor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, roof. And this will just be like the ceiling. There's still going to be an attic, I guess, is how it would be. But essentially, this area right here along this length would be the... I need to just count it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Roof. Yeah. I'm gonna need more blocks here soon. Dang it. 2, 3, nope, that's 4, 5. Floor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Roof. So like this whole area is gonna be this tall. And maybe we only add 1 extra floor. So like here would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Roof. I don't think that's so bad. I don't think that's bad at all. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Floor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Floor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Roof. Gotta do some inventory clean out real quick. I was doing some minor terraforming towards the end of the episode. Where did I put my stone cutter? I think it's still in the castle right there. It's right here. I'm telling you, this is going to be an expensive castle. It's going to be a lot of stone brick. I've always wanted to build a castle and like spend the time to decorate the inside and just make it beautiful and gorgeous. And this room actually might end up being this height all the way down to my floor from below. So like this whole room betwixt that walkway and this, which there might be like a little overhang and all that, but That height right there might be the ceiling for this room, and it's just a big, grand entrance. I don't know why I want to do that, but I kind of want to do that. It's absurd and overkill, but I think it'd be cool. So back to what we were doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roof. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roof. And then this tower just needs to be freaking tall. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roof. Not taller. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roof. That's tall enough. Tall enough that you can look out over it and like this will all be blocked. You won't be able to see any of this, but this is tall enough that I can see plenty of stuff out and around. I don't know how tall I just made that, but we'll do it again until we reach the height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's it. Hey, I nailed that one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this one will probably actually just be a big spiral on the inside all the way up. Just because I think that would be awesome. A big spiral tower. I guess I should finish blocking out the tower. I'd probably go do over the other one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Ah, it's 36 blocks tall. Wow. Would you look at that? So we've got 2 floors, 3 floors, a bunch of floors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roof. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Just to give me a real idea of how 4, 5 floor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floor, 1, 2, 3, roof. Hold on, let's sleep and we'll look at it in the daytime. I've also got to come up with some kind of justification as to why it has two doors, one big one and one small one. So building a grand entrance is like, yeah, that makes sense. It's a very blocky castle other than the two ends. But also it kind of makes sense that way. And I don't know why it makes sense in my head that way. This is a lot of my thinking process, if you couldn't tell. If you watched the entirety of the last episode, which was a lot of me just coming up here and looking and staring, I'm sorry that you had to sit through that, but that's pretty much the thought process is, how do I make this look good to my head? How do I make brain happy? And I think I'm gonna need to see it in more like more fullness to really get the idea. The other idea for the inside of the castle is every room, so the exterior of the castle is stone brick, but any interior room gets its own wall block. Like, I would use light blue terracotta and white terracotta at the bottom, or like quartz at the bottom, so then I have like a little, we'll do the edge, we'll call it edging for the room. Not that kind of edging, you freaks. Anyways, and then like, so there I'm gonna have to build a chimney that my beacon comes out of because that's just how they lined out, but oh well. But every room, once again, it's gonna get its own color, except for maybe the tower. This tower especially. I don't know about this one, the interior of that one. We're gonna find out. I need to stand at different angles and look at it. I'm honestly kind of in love with it. Nailed it. I'm just imagining like a peak roof here, a peak roof there, and a peak roof there that's all different levels, kind of like a beam, 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 beam. And then this is going to be that style of like tower. I don't want a witch's tower looking thing, like a peak, like a wizard's tower. I might eventually put a wizard's tower up there, but we'll see. It's all a play it by ear kind of game. At this point, I am playing a block game for children. Therefore, I must play the game. That made no sense. Anyways, let's check on our iron supplies because I kind of want to start digging out that big room for my doorway. Boom. I managed to break a torch on my way down. Cool. That's actually like a hefty amount of blocks. Apparently, if you make the iron farm more efficient, you get more of the blocks that you actually need. Still not enough. But goodness if it isn't a lot. I only need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. 34 more blocks, because I already have the 9 on the top. So another of that amount of block. I didn't land it. Well, I guess we could, we can continue our blocking. I've set myself up a couple of platforms to land on here. We'll just... Dang it. Okay. I'm gonna land on it. I'm gonna land on it this time. Bonk. So for the inside of this area, what I'm really thinking is, like, you know that liminal space that you always that you always see when they're talking about stuff? It's like the inside of this airport from Sweden or somewhere, where you're inside of the inside of it, and you just see a bunch of windows dotted along on the inside. That's what I'm thinking for the inside of the castle. Like in this section right here, I want you to be in this like maze, and you look up, and it's just 3 walls of flat windows. Of course, there would be this tower, so you're this wall, so you could probably stand on that and get the same kind of vibe of like, wow, I'm inside and there's a lot of windows in here. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. So this side will be less of a tower and more of just like a big round room, which I actually might do the end of this in glass and have it be its own room rather than like, because everything out here will be 2 floors. So I almost might do like a balcony or a half floor kind of thing. And then this whole thing is like an observatory. Observatory on the end of the castle. That would be awesome. Okay, we're doing that. There's our plan. And I'm thinking we do the kitchen here because it makes sense to have a big chimney coming out of the top of the kitchen. You got big fires. You got like a pizza oven in there. Needs a chimney. Needs a place for all the smoke to go. So, you know, that's an idea. Guess we'll start blocking this part out too now. Did I bring enough blocks though? No. I brought just enough for that wall. Can I just say the big doors for the storage room was probably my most genius thing I've ever done. I'm pretty proud of the I don't think I'll ever need 2 totems in my inventory, but on the off chance I do, I don't want to be caught with my pants down. And no totem. If you've never heard that saying before, you're probably like, what is this guy talking about having it? No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, it's a saying, okay? It's a standard saying. It's not crazy. There's nothing bad. Anyways. It's probably my favorite word right now. Anyways. I don't know why I did that. I guess realistically we could start blocking out the, like, actually filling the walls in. If I decide that this looks good enough to start off, I can start filling the walls in. I gotta come up with a good window design. I want something that'll look like there's a lot comparatively. Like, you look at the wall and you're like, oh, that's a lot of windows. But I want them to be big enough that they let light in, like a decent amount of exterior light. So if I ever did put a shader pack on just to get pictures of the castle, it would be really nice having light beam in through the window. Although it won't beam because the sun sets this direction. And the windows that I'm talking about are like these ones. So they would beam through these windows and these windows, but... That's neither here nor there. Also, if you are coming from the full 100 Days video, I appreciate you. And I hope you enjoyed the edit that I made, because I still have it. At this point in the process, we are 60 days in. This is hour 66. 66 hours in, and I still haven't started any of the editing. I kind of got a general idea of the editing. I don't have it started though. I needed to go through and do like bulk editing of like picking out highlights from each day. Which today's episode, this hour will be condensed down to, well, this is what I started off with the idea. I built pillars and then I blocked out the castle, and that was about it. Y'all think I can land on top of the castle? Top of this? I didn't land on top of it, but I did land close enough. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, Hold on. 2, 1, 2, 2. Boom. There for the guys who have a hard time visualizing. That's what the castle's gonna look like. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's weird, but I almost kind of want to step down this side again. Like step down, up, down, and then the tower's really tall. But at the same time, so another idea is like proper like peak roof, and then this section of the castle gets like a rooftop. Like I'll put plants and benches and like build up I want to call them battlements and I want to call them ramparts, but I don't know. I need to re-up on my castle terminology. But like this section right here, this square will get like the battlements that I'm talking about along the edges, and it'll be like a rooftop garden or a rooftop like just a lounge, really, an outdoor rooftop lounge. And then this will be a peaked roof. Or maybe like a slant roof, but I like the peak roof idea more because it separates this a little bit better. This would just be like a wall with a window in it. And then I can do the peak roof for the observatory. Or I might do a domed roof on the observatory. We'll see on that one. I gotta figure out how to do domes. I just like the idea of an observatory on a castle. I could also just do the observatory as the peak of this tower, but that's less castle-esque. I want a tower and then like an observatory as the other end of that. Also, another sub-requirement is that it's hard to get around. Like, there's the main pathways and, like, the main rooms, but there are, like, secret rooms that are hard to get to because you have to get to a room over here, you actually have to go all the way over here, go to the roof, get up into something, like, get into a secret hallway that's over here to get to a room that's right here by the tower, but there's, like, more rooms that have main hallways, but you can't get to it unless it's all the way over here. The idea of like secret little pathways like that just makes me so happy. That's why like this, you walk in the house and then there's a pathway that runs over here to the storage room, and then there's the pathway that runs straight out to this, which I'm just pointing out. This door might disappear, and this will be the main entrance. It'll just be like a big wooden open door, or like a closed door with two little wooden doors in the bottom of it. If I make it an even door, or I can just put a little, like a singular door and just decorate it up to make it look like a double door. And then there'll be like a little redstone thing that leads to the OG house. And then that's where my secrets and stuff are kept, because obviously the OG house area needs some kind of access to it that's secretive. Or maybe the only way in there is from I want to make it hard to get here. So you have to go to the OG house, and then you walk down that tunnel, and that's the only way out to this. I want to make it hard to get here, to get down there properly. Obviously, you could just jump off of this wall or break a window and jump out of it, but I want to make it like the right way to get there is not the way that you would think. And then once you get down in there, you walk through this door. Yeah. Secret pathways are my brain is whirring right now with ideas. We also need to pick a roof block. I say I need to pick a roof block because I don't know what roof I want to put on the castle. I kind of want to just do like deep slate, do the copy of everyone else, because I'm already doing spruce and spruce and and stone brick, why not do the deep slate tile roof that everyone else also does on all of their castles? I don't know about it. Let's check on our iron production. Let's see how good it's doing since we're, you know, here. That's okay, that's not bad actually. All things considered, that's pretty good iron production. What am I doing? We'll do some like pathway blocking. So this will be a wall. Right here. Well, we can put a doorway there. But so what I was getting at with this being the only entrance into this garden area, like, if you're standing here and you're looking out, you're like, how do I get there? Like, I want you to be able to stand here and be like, how do I get out to that? And then you have to wander through the castle. If you don't know where you're going, obviously everyone who you know, watches these videos and probably would ever download this map to go into, I want you to have to think for a little bit to be like, hold on, how do I even get there? A part of the castle that you just can't get to without wandering for long periods. But we have our main walkway. So like this will be the hallway. It'll open up into a bunch of windows while you're walking down, and then you'll walk into here. It'll be the grand room with like balconies and stuff off the side. This is the grand entrance, which will lead off to side rooms and stuff like that, which maybe not on this side. Or you know what? Actually, that's perfect because the house ends here. So like the grand room will lead off to a library on this side or something, and the library is where the secret entrance to the old house is. Because the old house is fully secret at that point. It's fully hidden, even though I'm the only one that plays on this world. And then on this side, it would be something else down there. No idea what. And then this side would have the entrance to the to my grotto that I was working on down there. Yeah, I'm cooking. I like this. I am thoroughly enjoying this world. I did not expect to, I mean, I expected to because I love Minecraft, but I didn't expect to get this, like, this invested in it. It's almost kind of strange to feel this invested in a Minecraft world. It's been so long. It's kind of nice, though. Okay, but I can make this a hidden wall, or like a false wall, that hides the fact that you can't go this direction. And then this is the entranceway that I have over here, which would be where my secret library entrance is. So like, the second floor of the library is right here, so it's like a 2-story library. And you get up to the second floor, and you're moving stuff around. You move something around on the first floor that opens a door, and then you're like, hold on a minute. And then you go up to the second floor, and you go down a ladder or down a staircase that's opened up, and you're like, oh, there's a whole house here. There's a whole portion of the thing, which you'll be able to see the window, which is like a big hint that there's something over here, and you can see the door, and there's obviously something there. Yeah, this is giving. It's giving OG like tutorial world. Although that's kind of a really high honor for me to try and bestow upon my own map. Why am I calling it a map? Bestow upon my own world. But that's kind of the vibe I'm going for is OG tutorial world. Also, it just makes so, like, you would think that my brain would be like, make a doorway here. And I was thinking about making a doorway here, but that makes too much sense. So leaving this being the only doorway to this part of the castle, it makes it more complicated, makes it harder to get around. But that's the goal, is to make it hard to get around, make it hard to follow. Certain parts of the castle, yeah, 100% I want them to be like easy to follow. It would be like where the guests go when you're eating dinners and all of that stuff. Like the dining hall. This would probably be the dining hall. We would have the dining hall underneath and then the kitchen over here. Because I already said I wanted a pizza oven where the beacon's going to be. So dining hall, kitchen, library, grand entrance area that leads off to the other rooms. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. I think I'm cooking. I just keep saying, yep, I'm cooking, but I'm dumbfounded with how good this is already coming out, and I haven't even, like, started building yet. I guess I can start getting the floor out of here, though. Well, the dirt portions of the floor. Portions. The dirt portions of the floor. Although I think I was gonna, yeah. A lot of this section is also gonna get, like, just ripped out. All the way down to the floor level of the other part of the base. The grand entrance will be down on ground level. I don't know how deep that actually is. That's way down there. We'll just do this real quick. Oh, we are at 64. This is 64. And if I go up here to what is going to be floor levels on certain portions of it, because there will be like a floor level is this level. So from 64 to 73, that's 9 blocks. No. Yes, because 6 to make it 70 plus 3, that's 9. Yeah, so 9 blocks down. So I should hit the entrance roughly here. Oh wow. Just big old grand door. Woof. I can get rid of these now. Ooh, you know what? And this actually makes sense because I've got this little thing that leads up here, and I'm going to keep this. This is the very first thing I built. I put it right back where it was after destroying it. This would be like a groundskeeper's quarters or something like that. It's very small, but like they take care of the gardens and stuff out here. So like their little shack portion of the castle is right here. Like, this is where they keep their tools. This is where they maybe even sleep. I could maybe make it a little bit bigger. I can make it 2 stories. It's small, but it's tall. So, like, they actually have, you know... It's actually a decent little groundkeeper's house. Built into the castle. Separate from everyone else for some reason. Which I could probably just make a door with a staircase that leads down here. And, like, the groundkeeper actually has a way in and out. This is almost like a faux mudroom, but it's like someone's house. And then whoever would tend the gardens that are out here, they get the... They get the pleasure of living in their own room or house in the castle. I also always do this where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna build the house on top of the land. And then I'm like, ooh, but basement. But what if I made it deeper and had to mine out all of this land? Speaking of, we're gonna go ahead and move the beacon. Move the beacon again. Because I was gonna do all the terraforming, but I kind of want to save that because I've only got 40 more days, 40 more hours to work, which is absurd amounts of hours. But I want to finish the castle, and then we'll start working on the castle grounds outside. I never thought that I would be... I didn't ever think I would get this far. I'm not even that far in the world, but I never thought I would get this far. I've got a sextuple beacon over there. I've got a whole buttload of freaking totems of undying. I've got a half-baked castle. I've got a wall around everything. Feels good. Also, thinking about it, I could probably scoot that. Remember when I did the laying out of the beacons? I could probably scoot that beacon over a little bit, and then the beacon that's outside of the castle, I could scoot it in, and I would just have a little bit more overlap on all of the beacons. Which I don't want to do, because that's kind of a waste of beacon tower area, but also it would make it to where I don't have to, like, I could put this beacon, like, say, there, in the middle of this, and then that kind of, and then I bring the one that's out there in a little bit, and then the overlap is a little bit more. But if I ever want to expand the grid, that makes it more difficult to get farther, so I think I'm just going to leave it the way I've got it set up right now. Although I guess I could technically scoot all of them over that direction a little bit more. So I could start with this beacon, place it, figure out where that beacon needs to be and where that beacon needs to be. And then this beacon will be our center, and it'll be here. We'll figure out where this beacon needs to be and then place everything else off of it. Realistically, this was just to help me get the number of beacons that I need. And then kind of an idea of what it's going to be and how the placement is. So realistically, I'm going to build the beacon down here for now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. Also, for those of you who know about my guitar making videos, I have figured out what I'm going to start on next. It's actually the last guitar I ever thought I was going to be working on. I already told myself, I was like, that's like, it needs re-necked and all of this stuff. And I'm like, it doesn't really need that. It's playable. The action's actually not terrible for what it is. It just needs paint because I think it's the ugliest guitar I own. And it is. It is one of the ugliest guitars I own because of the paint that's on it. It's got this gold and red, like, ugly design on it right now. It's sparkly. Some of you guys, I already know some of you guys are going to be like, I love that colored choice. I love the way it looks. How dare you say it's ugly? But, oh my, it's just bad. One gunpowder with looting 3 defense. Oof. I'm sore. I'm incredibly sore. I hope that when I go to race on Saturday, I don't lose because I can't freaking hold onto the steering wheel. It's bedtime. When I got off of work, I'm gonna sleep real quick, and then I'm gonna go stand up there and just talk for a minute because I don't think I have anything planned for the next 3 minutes. It's not long enough to start anything, but it's just long enough for me to yap. So, sorry if you wanted anything exciting. Go ahead and leave the video now. That's okay. You're not gonna kill me. So when I got off at work, I come home and I'm like, okay. Well, when I got off of work, my dad texted me and he was like, hey, the meeting is at 5:30. And I was like, what meeting? And I forgot that he had. So he teaches school. He teaches automotive at a school. And they are trying to get ASC certified again to be able to like teach again, because the class lost its certification a little while ago and they're trying to get recertified, and they have to have I almost want to call it a team, but it's not really a team. They have to have an advisory board, really. And my dad sent out a mass text to a bunch of people that qualify to be part of the advisory board. And I'm one of them, and I get off of work at like 3, and he sends out a text around 3, and he's like, don't forget, the meeting's at 5:30, and I was like, oh, great. So, it's not long enough for me to record, which it probably was if I had sat down and actually recorded, but I put on a YouTube video, and I took a nap at my desk. I didn't lean on the desk. I, like, leaned up against my chair and like fell asleep. I was that tired after getting off of work. It's kind of ridiculous how tired I was. Oh, but I took a fat nap. I say fat nap. I took like a chintzy nap. I took the worst nap imaginable. And then went to that meeting thing where we actually did get a little bit done. We got all the meeting and the greeting out of the way, enough of the like formalities. And then we went to go do a shop tour because it was the first advisory board meeting of all of us getting to know each other. And brain. Then we go out to the shop because we're having to like, they have to have a certain amount of tools or certain types of tools in a certain quantity to qualify to be certified, MLR certified or whatever, which is minor something repair. I can't remember the title, but basically to get certified at this level to be a accredited class again, they have to have a certain amount of tools and certain types of tools. And we get out to the shop to start like reviewing things, and then the conversations start. And of course, you get into a shop with a bunch of old fogies that are all automotive heads. Nothing related to the tools and the things that we were actually supposed to talk about happened. It all ended up being like conversations of just other things outside of it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my 3-minute yap session. I appreciate you listening. And I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you tomorrow.